So, kids getting a driver's license, huh? Clear the roads. Seriously though, it's scary stuff. Your new driver hurtling down the freeway, to say nothing of the insurance hike. Oh boy. But really, look at the statistics. Drivers between the ages of 15 and 19 are much more likely to experience a collision. You don't want that. I don't want that. Heck, the government doesn't want that. And that's why states nationwide have adopted graduated driver licensing regulations. I know, it sounds complicated. But don't worry, I'm here to help. Welcome to Graduated Driver Licensing Made Simple. Now, each state has its own set of specific rules and regulations, but today we're taking a look at Massachusetts. Meet Daniel and his mom, Kay. They're about to start on the great adventure of the GDL. Daniel just turned 16. In Massachusetts, this means he's just old enough to apply for his learner permit. Fortunately, he and his mom have even spent time together studying this year's Massachusetts Driver Handbook. All they have to do now is head down to the local RMV, where they'll both sign off on his permit paperwork, and he'll take the written driver's exam. 25 harrowing questions later, Daniel is a proud learner permit recipient. Now the fun part. Daniel needs to clock 40 hours of supervised driving time with a parent or licensed guardian. Kay will need to sign off on paperwork stating that Daniel has indeed been practicing his lane changes and three-point turns. The supervised driving period is really important because it gives experienced drivers a chance to make sure that their protege is learning excellent safety practices behind the wheel. Now that he's got his permit, Daniel needs to spend at least 6 months working on his driver abilities under his mom's watchful eye before moving on to the next phase. Meet Amanda and her uncle Jason. Amanda is 16 years old and just spent the last 6 months learning Jason's best tips and tricks for how to pull off the perfect parallel parking job, among other vital rules of the road. She's now ready to embark on that rite of passage, the road test. She and Jason head to the RMV, where Amanda will show off her shiny new driving skills. With a passing score here, she'll enter the intermediate stage of the GDL. Now she can finally strike out on her own in that brand new Mercedes, or whatever. She may be allowed to drive solo now, but there are still safety restrictions on her junior operator's license. Until she spent 6 months with her JOL, she can't have any passengers under the age of 18 unless they are an immediate family member. She can't drive between the hours of 12:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. until she turns 18. These restrictions are in place to minimize risk and distractions and maximize the experience the new driver gets. Amanda knows it's important to stay alert and aware while she's driving, because the law has specific provisions for intermediate drivers. Repeated crashes or injuries caused by drivers with a junior operating license carry fines and can even result in their license being suspended for an additional 12 months. After safe driving with a junior operating license until you are 18, the state safety restrictions will be lifted. Congratulations! At this point, Amanda is a fully licensed, unrestricted, ready-to-go driving machine. So let's recap. In Massachusetts, at age 16, you can start working towards your junior operator license by following these steps. Study the driver handbook with a parent or guardian. Then take the written driver exam at the RMV. Pass the test, and you will receive your learner permit. After getting your learner permit comes completing driver education, at least 6 months of practice time where you will drive with adult supervision for 40 hours. At 16 and a half, you can head to the RMV for the road test. Once you pass the test, the junior operating license phase begins. You can now drive solo as long as you follow the JOL restrictions. You cannot have any passengers under 18 unless they are an immediate family member for 6 months. You cannot drive between the hours of 12:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. until you turn 18, when all the restrictions will be lifted. Hopefully, this handy guide has helped you make sense of the ins and outs of graduated driver licensing. For more information and specific rules for your own state, check out impactteendrivers.org. Happy driving!